Yo, Laurent.
Yo, forget Yo Laurent for a second. I think we need to remix it a little bit. We'll get back to the Yo Laurent for a second, but I think we need to remix it, as we're trying to improve our podcast and we're trying to improve our formatting, etc. Every season is something new and exciting. Got to level up all the time. I think our new trademarked intro before the Yo Laurent should be Welcome to the home of the Premier League champions, ladies
Ooh,
and gentlemen. Welcome
ooh,
back to the home of the Premier League champions.
ooh.
I think that has a nice ring to it. And then we can get into the Yo Laurents and all that.
Yo, Laurent, how does that ring to you? How does that sound to you?
I think it sounds great. So what I think we should do is take it from the top.
Huh?
Take it from the top.
Here we go.
So you guys, right? Speak your, that new thing you guys want to add in. I think that's how great I think it sounds that we should roll it again. So three, two, one.
Welcome back to the home, the rightful home of your Premier League champions. And soon, sorry, CJ, I gotta add a little bit of remix to this, and soon to be Champions League champions. A man like Laurent said in the next 5 years, Chelsea have a better chance of winning the Champions League before Arsenal.
I did not say that.
Uh,
I did not say that.
To be
I
fair,
did not.
he didn't. To be fair, he didn't say that.
You
To
see what
be
I mean?
fair.
But you
I,
implied it.
I nope.
You
Nor
said
did
that
I.
we don't have a chance of winning it.
Nor did I imply that. I did not say what.
And so then what? So then, okay, what did you say, and what did you imply?
All I said was the next club between the two of us to win it is us. I do not see you guys winning it in the next 5 years. Does not mean Chelsea wins it in the next 5 years.
Who wins more trophies in the next 5 years?
Hmm. I think as it stands, well, again, Chelsea's case is peculiar because again, in terms of our team and where we're at, our manager, right? It's pretty much chaos. So we don't even know what the calm after the storm looks like. So given that, right, you would have to say that a team with more structure, more direction, and stability has the higher chances of accumulating said trophies. Right? That answers the question.
It
No,
does.
because you didn't even say the club. Who
I
was the
didn't.
club in question that you were talking about? You see how you love
But
to
it's
beat around the bush? It's a you had
wait,
an
hold on,
option
hold
of
on,
two
hold on,
clubs to choose from.
hold on. This is the first time where Murdat says I did answer the question because there is only one option in this case, and you guys know who I'm referring to.
But then you didn't answer the question.
Jesus
Are you
Christ.
talking about Man City? Are you talking about Liverpool? Who are you talking about?
Ah, because you know the two clubs that are being referred to here.
Do the
And
viewers and the
huh?
listeners?
Yeah, the viewers know, bro, the viewers have had 100 and how many episodes to understand your lines of questioning, my lines of response, so they know how we get down over here, bro. In the home of the Premier League champions. Should I add though?
Say it again. Say it again.
Yeah, I'll add it. The homes are the Premier League champion, but
Ah,
don't get too comfortable for those out there because our home is one where it's clearly invite only, right? And till those clubs can get to that stature, world champion, that home, man, that's it's an isolated island.
Wait, hold on. Can I
You
can I just ask you?
either by boat,
You
by jet,
you
or
say
by
it's invite only, but from my calculations, anyone who's willing to take an 8 year contract and get paid $100 million over 8 years and then take steroids and go try to be a track athlete is welcome on Chelsea. You guys have a goon squad. I don't understand what do you mean it's invite only.
a goon squad. What do you mean by a goon squad? I mean, I know we do goon things. Ask Kukureya, bro. He'll tell you, bro.
DJ, please tell me you saw that.
No, I missed it.
Oh, you guys scored.
Oh, offside? Are you fucking Sorry.
For
Oh,
those
you
Sorry.
scored?
at home not seeing this on video, remember that is watching. Is it Ren New Zealand?
Hmm.
Yeah, it was. Why are you that far offside, you idiot? Anyway, sorry.
You know
Back
who's
back.
playing? You know who's playing in this game, Laurent? A certain striker.
Certain striker that's better than Liam Delap and João Pedro. And CJ, what's that infamous Chelsea striker?
The Chelsea legend that we dare not talk about in the same category as a certain man playing in this game, who I think has an assist, if I'm not mistaken.
He does.
Hmm.
Wait, who's the? Oh, Chris Wood uh,
Jeez.
on New Zealand. He scored or no?
Assist.
Mm.
So we know who he's better than, right?
Yeah, I mean, just like he's better than João Pedro, right? And all those
I
guys.
mean, he clearly is because João Pedro didn't even make the Brazil squad.
Yeah, listen, I think we all know when injustice is done, but
I mean,
we'll
Martinelli made it.
leave it at that.
Esteval made it. Even Fabinho made it. Fabinho's
Esteval?
what, like
Esteval didn't
40?
make it.
Esteval made it.
No, he didn't. To be fair, I wish he did.
Wait, what? No, I
Yeah.
swear he was in the bench.
No, he's injured.
Oh, okay, okay. But in the first thing he was there because Endrick took over for him because Esteval was there. I swear to God, when the first squad was sent out, Esteval was in there. Because
But
if
when
you
though,
cause,
I don't know if he was. I'll lie Laurent because Esteval's been injured for a minute. So he was when's the last time Esteval even played? He's been ruled out for a long time.
Yeah, that is true.
So I don't think so, to be fair.
either way, um, Ryan made it.
Yeah. I know we're gonna get into it, bro, but this iteration of Brazil, I mean, me and Laurent were watching it on Saturday. I'm just fucking looking at who's playing up top. You go from R9 to, with all due respect, Igor Thiago. I mean, jeez.
It would have been better off playing Rafinha up top. Genuinely, I think they need a player like João Pedro in the lineup.
Yeah, I said so too.
Yeah,
All jokes aside, he should be starting up top
yeah.
for Brazil.
And if you're not gonna take João Pedro, you play Matheus Cunha, not Igor Thiago. Yeah. Um, I guess we should kind of get into it. The banter section was very tamed. We've had a lot of discussions, folks, with HR. Um, yeah, we are here. It's the summertime. You know, it's odd. This summer is a little bit odd because the transfer window's open, but it is really not. If you think about it, because you got players that don't really want to sign contracts and don't want to be talking to other teams because their main focus is right now on the World Cup. But then you also got teams that are wanting to prepare for what the season is to come because the likes of the bigger clubs, respectfully, are going to have players that are potentially going to be in the quarters and the semis, potentially in the finals, and it's going to have a huge impact on the way that they can plan the training load when the season starts. We have seen some movement, some of which has been a little, all banter aside, some of it genuinely has caught me off guard. Like the Cucurella transfer fully caught me off guard because of the comments that he made about Jabi Alonso. Um, and to be honest with you, he doesn't strike me as a Real Madrid player. He strikes me more of as an Atletico Madrid player. Um, Denzel Dumfries also went to Madrid. Konate went to Real Madrid. And another surprise for me is Bernardo Silva, CJ. That To me, that's a sign that either Tchouaméni or Federico Valverde are gone,
Hmm.
or even Camavinga for that matter, right? And like, what happened to Massantuano? Like, he was supposed to be the next big thing from Argentina. He didn't even make the Argentina squad. So transfer window is open. I know CJ will go likely go through who we've been linked with, but again, the big part, the meat of the transfer window pause is going to happen once the World Cup. I feel is winding down and a lot of the players are going home. I don't think right now anything big is going to happen. You're not going to see massive moves or anything. Um, Thoughts? Does that make sense? Does that not make sense? Would you guys agree?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well. First of all, a couple things from me I wanted to say. As we always say, people, like and subscribe. We're here locked in. We do this every day, or every day, but we're working behind the scenes every day. But on camera, we're putting it out to you guys. Putting out a couple episodes twice a week still. Even with the World Cup on, even with the off season. Um, you know, you're again, as we mentioned, you're tuning into the home of the Premier League champions. So, you know, what better time than to like and subscribe right here, right now, people, while you're listening and watching the home of the Premier League champions. Um, for
Wait,
those
CJ,
that
can
were,
you just say that again for the people at the back?
yeah,
The people
yeah.
that are in 10th place?
Is my mic loud enough? Can you hear?
No, no, get a little bit closer for those people down in 10th place.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're now listening to the sights and sounds of the home of the Premier League champions with your boy DJ CJ and your MC Murdad.
M Dizzle.
And the hype man in the back, Mr. Lauren Piano, who,
Way back.
Bro, I'm in my own castle. What are you talking about, bro? Like, you're right. You see, you gotta shout, bro, because in our mansion, right, when you win the Club World Cup, right, see, man, it's not a home anymore. It's a whole villa, bro. It's a whole island, bro. No, I've seen, So
all right,
this,
so Laurent's hanging out in the toy castle from Toys R Us. But he's still rocking with us. We still invited him to the parade. He declined the offer, but he's playing with his toy castle at home. It's fine. Down down in 10th place. Um, but yeah, big up, all man, same ways. And yeah, as I said, like and subscribe, because what a better time to like and subscribe than now. You're home with the Premier League champions, people. And also quickly, just shout out to those that we met on Saturday. Me and Laurent were at the event in Toronto at the Big Six, famous podcast and YouTube channel from the UK. Boys came down. We got some nice pictures and videos with them. We got videos and pictures of the event. The boys from the Big Six had an event called Back Your Chat that took place in Toronto. And me and Laurent showed up from the Gunners Corner representation. Murda wasn't able to be there on the day, but he was there in spirit, obviously. And yeah, we met a bunch of good people, nice folks. It was nice to see the footballing community in Toronto come out. And we met, some lovely folks who had some good conversations with me and Laurent. And yeah, man, thank you for, I know you guys were shouting us out as well and just, showing your support by subscribing and following us on Instagram. So the love is there. So we appreciate y'all. And yeah, definitely look to keep in touch with you guys going forward, whether it's other social outings or going back to the gatherings, etc. So yeah, big up to all those that we met and so on and so forth. But yeah, man, on the transfer window stuff, um, yeah, I think obviously, Real Madrid, they're moving pissed off at the moment. They've obviously had a chaos
Mhm.
of a season for the last two seasons. And no trophies in 2 years, which the chaos that they're doing at the moment, like some people say it's typical Real Madrid, doing impulsive things, panic stations, and just buying players and signing players and putting those band-aid solutions over maybe what perceived as bigger problems at the club. I was having a conversation with one of my boys earlier today, and I was kind of saying, yes, in some ways it's impulsive. It's deemed as impulsive, the moves that they're making and trying to make these signings. And you saw the I think the civil war between the presidents or the candidates for presidency going in. One president saying, or one candidate saying, if I'm appointed, I'll be signing the likes of Holland and this and that. You got Fiorentino Perez saying, similar kind of things. I'm going to make a galactical signing and all these things that they're saying. obviously with what's going on at Real Madrid at the moment, and like I said, the infighting that we heard about towards the end of the season amongst the players and the staff, again, trophyless in 2 years. That's the standard of Real Madrid, right?
Mhm.
You don't win things for 1 or 2 seasons, and it's massive panic stations. People don't know how to act. There's fights, there's wars, there's beef, and then there's signings this early in the window, right? They're not messing about. So whether you think it's impulsive, whether you think it's this or that, that's just the nature of Real Madrid. They're clearly trying to go again next season, and they're trying to show their intent. So whilst all the other clubs at the moment have been quieter, Real Madrid are the first on the scene, it seems like, and that doesn't really surprise me. I don't know if it surprises you guys, but it shouldn't, because that's just how Real Madrid is, right? Like they, again, whether it's impulsive or not, they're showing their intent. They're trying to go again, right? And they're trying to make a comeback. So,
Honestly, bro,
um,
like I kind
mm,
of sorry not to toot my own horn or anything, but it's something we have seen at my club respectively over the years, right? So I do understand where they're coming from, right? So best of luck to them.
well, that's my question, I guess, for the both of you is genuinely, do you guys think? And I know their business isn't even done yet. To be fair, they're probably going to do more things, but like, do you guys think Real Madrid will be back next season in terms of competing for the biggest trophies and even winning trophies, right? Do you guys see them bouncing back to that level next year? Or is it still going to be like a stepping stone that they're going to work towards?
Hmm. This is an interesting one because I mean, listen, when Mbappe ended up going there, I think Bellingham he came there after or before Mbappe was there? Or
Bellingham
before,
was there before.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah, but I know with that Mbappe signing, a lot of people, including you, CJ, was pretty much saying that football's over. We're gonna have these guys going back to back to back and this and that. But clearly,
Yeah.
right, as we're seeing that on paper, yeah, you can have a great team, but it takes a lot more than that, right? So I think for Real Madrid, who's in that? It's a special one, right? That's managing
Mhm.
that club. So that should be interesting. I think him as a manager will play a big part, in my opinion,
Hmm.
as to where they go. Um, now, I do feel that that whole situation with even ex-manager Alonso, um, the players looking to be bigger than the club, for me is something that should be addressed, right? Has to be addressed. Um, because I do think it's going to affect performances, right? Where you almost feel like the club is no longer a collective in a sense, where it's too much of a individualistic club. And if it keeps going on that route, right, I feel that it could damage them as opposed to help them. Also because I do feel as well that football has evolved to the point where you actually need the collective game. Whereas back in the days, right, I do think you could get away with having individuals that can, right, the egos and then individuals taking over in games, not tracking back, this and that, simply because I don't think the setup for teams was how it is now in modern times, right? But yeah, man, we'll see how that goes for them. But yeah, but like I said, best of luck. And Kukurea, yeah, man, hopefully you do good, and we'll see you out there. Not this year, but you know,
Berta, what do you think? Do you think Real Madrid is bouncing back next season?
I think they'll win something. I don't think they'll win one of the big ones, no, because I think Jose is gonna add fuel to the fire. He's not the calm head that you want to come into a room where Vinicius is saying, if you don't give me a contract, I'm leaving. You got infighting with Valverde and Tchouaméni. Um, Players are taking sides. The fan base hates Mbappe. The story of Real Madrid is that it's the players' club. It's not the manager or the coach that gets assigned. They're the puppet. And although Jose had his time at Real Madrid and he did win a lot of things, that generation of players was completely different. And this generation of players, I do think that I do believe that they respect Jose, and I do believe they understand what he stands for and what he can do for them. But we also have to respect that Barcelona is going to get better. Now, do I think that Anthony Gordon is going to make them better? No. I think it's a waste of money. Anthony Gordon, 80 million, and you could have had similar quality in Marcus Rashford. Um, but for Real Madrid, like, we joke like 9 years, 22 years, 57 years, never winning a trophy for some clubs. Like Real Madrid, they go 1 year without winning a trophy, a major trophy, it's crisis. So do I think that they'll win something? Yeah, I think they'll win a Copa del Rey. Um, I don't see them going anywhere with the Champions League, to be honest with you. And with the league, uh, could they? Yeah, they always could. But with the rumors that, you know, Julian Alvarez may go to Barcelona and the types of bids that they're putting in there, it's tough, man. It's tough. I think they got a lot of signings wrong last year. Off air we were talking about it, right? Like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Massantuano. I genuinely believe that they got the Kylian Mbappe wrong. Because look at what happened to PSG, right? PSG is a prime example of like you don't necessarily need the biggest of names. Like they had Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, and they didn't win anything. Before that, they had Di Maria, right? Thiago Silva, Marquinhos. Like they've had big players. Um, so I don't know if I'm answering your question, CJ, but I don't. I see them winning something, but nothing that is to Real Madrid standards.
So basically, no Champions League next year.
No Champions League, and the league I'm not sure because it's always possible the league, but Champions League no, no. I'm not just saying that because I believe that we have a chance at like going back there and winning. I genuinely don't think that they'll have enough for Champions League, to be honest with you. Like their backline doesn't scare me. A Kanate, um, Militao, Cucurella, and Denzel Dumfries doesn't concern me. That's not the Galacticos that we grew up with. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I feel
interesting.
like a back line added with Jose Mourinho tactics. See what I'm saying? Now you're getting some
You're right.
extra
You
firepower there.
you're absolutely right because I do think that coaching is going to make a difference, but that coaching is only going to make a difference if he can manage the infighting, right? The reason why England never won in their golden generation is because there was so much fighting internally. Now, is Jose someone that can manage that? He,
If any,
he's, you
if
know,
anything, he probably has like the biggest ego there too, you know?
yeah, he
So
has bigger ego than all of them, right? But is that going to clash with this new generation? Because the older generation, when he coached them, he had the biggest ego, but they respected him. This new generation, let's see,
mm,
jury's out.
I think for me, actually, some would say, you mentioned earlier that Cucurella doesn't seem like a Real Madrid signing. He seems like more of a Atletico Madrid signing.
Yeah.
And I agree with that to a certain extent. So maybe whilst he doesn't seem like a Real Madrid signing, to me, he
Hmm.
seems like a Jose Mourinho signing. And I'll explain
Yes,
what I
yes,
mean by that.
yes,
I
yes.
think the players that that they brought in so far are Jose Mourinho type players, Bernardo Silva, guys who have that shithousery about them, the dark arts, right? Guys who will get stuck in, guys who are feisty on the pitch, right?
Yeah,
Bernardo Silva, Cucurella, and then you got your bigger guys at the back, right? Your Dumfries and Kanate, for a little bit more defensive solidity and structure, right? Denzel Dumfries is a better defender, let's be honest, than Trent Alexander-Arnold.
yeah.
And Kunate will be an improvement to their back line individually, right? He's better than that Dean Howson that they signed last year. That was another signing I think they got wrong. Dean Howson that
Hmm.
went from
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth to Real Madrid. I don't even think he's in the England squad, the Spanish squad anymore, Dean Howson. So
No.
Konate is better than him. Um, So actually, I think they will be better defensively under Jose because I think to Laurent's point, I think the coaching is going to come into play. And on paper, that's already a better back four than what they had last year, right? I think we didn't mention Rudiger either. I think Rudiger and Konate is a pretty good center back partnership. I think there's talks that they're renewing Rudiger's contract as well. So I think Rudiger and Konate works well. Konate is a top defender on his day. Denzel Dumfries at right back and a Kukurea at left back, I think is a decent back four. And under a Jose, I think you can put that together back well and make that hard to get past. But again, let's see what else they do, right? They still have more work to do because obviously a lot of their issues are how they figure out the top end of the pitch. And does Vinny stay? Does Vinny go? Does Mbappe stay? Well, I think Mbappe will stay because the president did say it. But the thing is, they said they're gonna get Mbappe back in his best position, which is on the left. So then what happens to Vinny Jr.? Right? Vinny Jr. is not going to hold bench, and he's not going to want to be a bench player. So it's going to be interesting, man. It's definitely going to be interesting. Um, but on the Arsenal side of things, Arsenal and Chelsea, I mean, keeping within in-house in our own clubs, kind of starting with Arsenal at the moment. Um, just things that are happening in the rumor mill, right? And where they say where there's smoke, there's fire. So some of these things can be true, some of them may not be true. But just in terms of the rumor mill, some of the players that we're linked with, Morgan Rogers, most notably, I think is one of the bigger names that we're linked with. Barcola, uh, Baoudi. I can't pronounce his first name, boys. The guy who played against
Moroccan guy?
the Morocco in midfield the other day. Young talent in midfield. And then that Christos Zolis, Greek winger, I think from is it Club Brugge?
Yep.
So those are just some of the names linked, I mean, with us at the moment. I guess Murda, yeah, starting off with you, the resident Arsenal fan on the channel. What are your thoughts at the moment in terms of like what we're linked with? And do you want names outside of these? Would you be happy with one or more of these names? What are you thinking right now in terms of the Arsenal's transfer window?
Um, Boadidi, the Moroccan midfielder for the future, yeah, with Lewis Skelly, um, Young, they can both develop. And he did win the under, I think it was under 21 World Cup, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, with Morocco. I think they won it. He wouldn't be bad. Um, if Barcola is real, and we can and Andrea Berta can get it over the line because apparently last year they were also looking at Barcola because Barcola was unhappy with his playing time. Um, if Barcola is real, I would want Barcola before anybody else. Um, as much as I like Morgan Rogers and I do put value in um, players that are from the Premier League and the premium that we pay because you saw it, right? Like you saw with Zubamendi. He's an unreal player. There's no question about it. He is an unreal player. But there's something to be said about players that have played in the Premier League and they understand the load, right? They understand the physicality. They understand those cold December nights, right? When you're playing in Luton Town or you're playing in the Vitality. It's completely different than playing in the Spanish league, in the French league, in the Dutch league, right, and the Norwegian league. It's completely different. Um, but Barcola is a different level, right? Um, we do have a lot of money to spend, but if we're trying to be, if we're see when the season started, when we were doing the prediction, CJ, you had said Liverpool to win the league, and my argument to you was they made too many changes. Same thing with City. I said they made too many changes. And for me, that's what I don't want us to do.
Hmm.
You have to be very critical of the change that you want to make. The change that we need to make right now is in the left wing. Prioritize that over everything, right? Once you get the left winger down, then you can look at potentially getting a right back up, right? Because I don't who knows what's going to happen with Ben White. Ben White can remain fit. I am okay with going into the season with Jurriën Timber, Ben White, and in a pinch, um, Christian Mascara. I don't know if you're okay with it, but I'm okay with it. On the left, we have Calafiori, we have Nkapie, and in a pinch, we can play MLS because MLS has now shown that he can play midfield, right? So we have the flexibility back there, but we need a left winger. We need a real backup for Declan Rice. Do I think Lewis Skelly can do it? Yes. Do I think Arteta trusts him to do it? No. So if you don't trust him to do it, then Lewis Skelly and Zubimendi are each other's backup. You need a backup for Declan Rice because if we are going to win the Champions League and we're going to repeat as Premier League champions, Declan Rice needs to be rested. He has to be rested. So for me, my priority, if Barcola is a real like transfer news, you go for Barcola, you pay the 120 mil with add-ons going up to 130, whatever it is, you get Barcola through the door, and then you prioritize getting a serviceable backup for Declan Rice that Arteta trusts, not a Christian Norgard that he plays 50 minutes. A serviceable backup that Arteta trusts, and then you can look at luxury pieces, right? I think you and I both would agree. If Madueke was in there, I would want a serviceable backup for Saka. But I do think Madueke on his day is perfect. Gives us a change of pace. He's very direct. Do I think that he's the best option that we have? Absolutely not. But I think he can do what we need out of him, right? Um, Now to answer the players that are in the rumor mill, yeah, I like the type of players. I like the profile. Um, I would say Barcola is first for me, the Moroccan midfielder is second, the Greek winger is third, and Rogers is fourth.
Wow.
Because for me, not to disrespect Morgan Rogers, I want I want creativity outside of the Premier League. I want a different style of play. I don't want anyone that's been influenced by Premier League coaches. I want someone that's influenced by something outside of the league. Bring a different dynamic, bring a different change of pace. Now, it might burn me in saying that because Gyökeres struggled for the first half of the season, right? But that's just me.
No, that's an interesting perspective, man. I never actually looked at it like that. Just something, in terms of looking at players from outside the league that don't already have the imprint of a Premier League manager's, I guess blueprint all over them and whatnot. Now, yes, I understand as well that Arteta's a different manager to a Unai Emery and a different manager than I don't know, an Arne Slot who's now out of the league, obviously. Yes, managers are different across the board, but I do still understand what you're saying when it comes to that. And the I guess the wild card that is certain players that come from outside the league. We do know Arteta likes players from inside the league, and that has proven to work over the recent years. Very Premier League proven players, right? Your Declan Rices and so on. But yeah, no, that definitely is. It's definitely an interesting perspective. And yeah, I think in terms of what we're linked with at the moment, I mean, I don't know. You tell me, did I miss anything? Are we actually linked with anyone else that I'm maybe not capturing? I don't want to do an AFTV and then start, Robbie does his transfer dailies and start making up all these not making up, but just we can't talk about players that are unrealistic or things that aren't actually happening. You know what I mean? Like it's just a waste of everybody's time. They call it this silly season, of course, right? So there's always going to be a whole bunch of players that, people will try and link to the club to make traction and just to make some noise at a quiet time and this and that. But
Oh,
just
yeah, I don't think you missed anyone. I'm just quickly looking
those
at
those have
where
been the
that.
big names in recent weeks, right? Like
Yeah, because that's what we need, right? Like that's what we're looking for. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anyone else because again, like our main priority is the left wing and a serviceable backup for Declan Rice. Right now, do I think the Moroccan 19-year-old? Do I think that he can do it? Him showing a one game against Brazil and Brazil's midfield respectfully,
not the same, eh? Not what it was.
like listen, I don't want like Casemiro is decorated. Bruno Guimaraes on his day he is good, but like those aren't the games that we're concerned about. The games that we're concerned about is Bournemouth away on a Friday night, Everton at Hill Dickinson, right? Southampton. These are the games that we typically struggle, right? We're not worried about when we're facing the bigger teams. Um, so no, I haven't really heard any other names. I think Rogers is like the name that's keeps popping up and keeps popping up. And Barcola because apparently Andre Berta has been following him since last year. And I don't know if these rumors are true. There is some rumblings that we may try to sell Gyökeres in a sign and trade.
Hmm.
I don't know how real that is. I don't know, like I know fans aren't happy with him. I think he could have done a little bit better, but I think he did exactly what we needed to. And I think him and Kai Havertz are good. They're good. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a good change of pace between the two of them. One's more possession style, and one's just a rugged poacher. Um, you know, yeah. The Greek winger Tzolis. My only concern is, and this is all due respect because they did very well in Champions League. Can you adapt to the physicality of the Premier League? Right? That is my concern when you go for wingers like that. Like Barcola, he's played enough games against Premier League sides, and I'm like, okay, you can adapt, but can he? Right? Like, what do you think? Do you genuinely believe that? Let's just say we get Tzolis and the Moroccan midfielder. Would you be happy?
Like with just those two or those two additions
Just
too?
those two.
Just those two? Oh hell no, bro.
Just
That's not a good enough window.
right?
No, that's not a good enough window if it's just those two. I had my thoughts and I actually had a question I wanted to pose to you guys, but before I do that, Laurent, quick question for you. Like from an outsider's perspective, like when you look at Arsenal, like what do you think it is that Arsenal actually needs if they're going to take like the next step? Again, banter aside and all that, like you look at Arsenal from an objective like football analysis perspective, it's like where do you see room for improvement in this Arsenal team?
The attack. The attack. For me there's no way you go into the new season with an attack similar to what you guys had last season and are able to defend one that title with a high level of confidence to even get close to the Champions League this time um, with an even higher level of confidence. So it's the attack for sure.
So, but for you, is that striker, left winger, both
To me,
attacking midfielder? Like what does that look like personnel wise and position wise?
I think striker. Um, Gyökeres to me, I don't know. Personally, in terms of getting that same output out of him, and even if that's enough for next season, right? What he delivered this season, I don't know. But definitely left winger, and I'd even be willing to say even right winger. Um, because at this point, I do not think that Saka has it in him. To
Wow.
yeah, to perform, especially in the big games for me. Um, Now what's crazy is I had a discussion, a lengthy one, a lengthy back and forth with a guy named Bob on Saturday, and the points that he made in terms of Saka's performances was the number of games, right, which affected his overall health, and his inability to then execute, right, on the attack. Now, what that conversation came down to at the end was we both agreed that in terms of the number of games, that's not going to change, right? Um, so if he's, and I don't know how many games he played this year. I'm assuming all of those injuries stemmed from the last season and then the seasons before, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, if you rely on him again next season, right? I'm sure he's going to play the same level of minutes, which, funny enough, is just right. If he's already like worn and tear down to this level, it's bound to happen again next season, right? So there's a liability issue on that end too. And right, if this is the output he gives in that state, then you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I don't think it'd be wise to depend on it. Uh, given the fact that those variables are pretty much going to be the same.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I think if you guys are able to find um, someone electric, right? It'd have to be like if you're deciding to remove Saka from the equation, it would have to, or even sideline him, right? You'd have to have quality there, which again I do think is a rather rare find nowadays because we've all agreed that even the wingers market isn't the
Hmm.
best at this point in time. So, but yeah, for me, it's essentially those three positions, I guess, right? I think in regards to your midfield, I think you guys should be good enough, right? Eze, you have Eze there, right? And yeah, so those three positions for me.
So then quick one-off question for you guys, because now that you segue that nicely into talking about wingers and how we've admitted that the winger market isn't the greatest, isn't what it once was, especially the winger market in our case, because we're looking at the left wing side of things. This is for both of you guys to answer. Whoever wants to go first. If Vinny Jr. becomes available for Arsenal Football Club, should Arsenal go for Vinny? Yes or no?
Should they go for him?
Hmm.
Yes. Will they go for him? No.
Yeah, yeah, I think they should.
And I bring that up just because again, there's rumors, right, that again, if Mbappe does go over to the left, right, as we said, Vinny's not going to be satisfied with the substitute role, right? That's just not going to work all season. So if he becomes available, then right, it's one of those ones now where Arsenal Football Club, right? As Premier League champions, all banter aside, right? It's one of those ones where we're like, we're not in our banter era anymore, right? So once upon a time when we were shopping at, or we were trying to dine at McDonald's in Queen and Spadina at 3 a.m. trying to get the last meal of the night, we don't have to do that anymore. We can say we're not Premier League champions. We're, Champions League finalists. We've been competing in Europe for the last few years at a high level. We should now be, trying to shop at, I don't know, your finest, steakhouse, Nobu. Some would say. You guys been to Nobu? Nobu's pretty nice. I recommend
Yeah,
taking
it's
your,
nice.
your your women out there one day. But you know what I mean? Like, yo, we gotta be shopping at elite levels now, man. We gotta be shopping, doing our shopping on Oxford Street in London or Yorkville in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta be shopping at the biggest markets. So if those type of players become available, at least why not put your name in the hat, right? And there's a very real possibility that Vinny could come available if that scenario does play out, right? Where he's, surplus to requirements and Mbappe is going to take his spot. If because you can see this happening, I'll tell you this right now. You can see if Vinny's name becomes available, you'll even see a Man United just ambitiously go for him or throw money at him, right? Honestly, maybe even a Chelsea just to throw money at him. Whether he goes there or not is a different story. But I'm saying there's going to be clubs out there that'll throw money at Vinny, and particularly the Premier League clubs who can afford him. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't Arsenal's name be in the hat as Premier League champions, as finalists in the Champions League, this and that? Like that's the kind of market I feel like we should be shopping in now. So whilst people think that it may sound crazy, it's like again, it's realistic. It's something that I think big clubs should be doing and operating as. You know what I mean? Because that's the kind of player that can take us to the next level, in my opinion. Then we can talk about, in my opinion, winning Champions Leagues and this and that if we have a superstar player like that in attack. So, but I'm glad you guys answered that way, and then Murad, I'm glad you said that we should as well because the common consensus from like a lot of the Arsenal fans will be, oh well, disrupting the dressing room, and you know not you're not good for the team camaraderie. There's this thing that Vinny obviously has an attitude problem and this and that, but all the best players did, right? Thierry Henry had an attitude problem. How did he work out at Arsenal, right? Wayne Rooney, these guys, and all it takes is big managers to manage those personalities. So all I'm saying is, and I want to put this energy out there for those listening and watching, like if players like that become available, don't be put off by the fact that they have an attitude problem or you know what I mean? Like those are the kind of players that, in my opinion, I think if you want to go to the next level, you have to take a punt on because
Mhm.
they're that good, you know? Um, but
Tactics have to
anyways,
change though. If for example we get a Vinny Jr., tactics have to change because he's not tracking back, he's not playing the defensive side.
but you know what? I'm glad you said that because I think between the three of us, we can all agree that Arsenal's tactics have to change regardless of who comes in next season.
Yep.
To Laurent's point, we cannot continue to play. I am not going to sit there and watch a whole other season of us trying to win games 1-0 and hang on for 50, 60 minutes. I can't do that. That's not good for my heart health, my heart, my health. You know what I mean? But how stressful we won the league in the end, but Murda, let's be honest, how stressful was this season? Just us pretty much towing the line and trying to win by these one
Yeah,
goal
man.
margins. It's not, bro. It's tough, man. It's tough for
Yeah.
everybody. I think it's tough on the players as well. It's so and again, I think Laurent's point again in the Champions League, like team, even in the Premier League, teams are going to figure us out, right? You're going to get found out trying to play this way and trying to play this, some call it dark arts and and the little tactics that we like to do that we can get away with. Certain things we're not going to be able to get away with next season. Like teams do their homework, coaches do their homework, but we can get found out in certain things. So Arteta's going to have to adapt and he's going to have to adjust if we're going to retain the title and if we're going to compete again in the Champions League. We cannot play the way we did this season and think it's going to work again. Yeah.
But just how you guys said that what's his name? Cucurella isn't a Real Madrid player. Come on, let's be real. Is Vinny an Arsenal player? Like is
He's not an Arteta player.
He's not an Arteta player. Is
But
he an
that's what
Arsenal player? Yeah, he is an Arsenal player because our Arsenal is known for having freedom. Like when you think about it, like the way
Mhm.
that oh my Lord. Wow, I can't remember. Arsene Wenger did the style. It was very free flowing, but he is not an Arteta player, no.
And but these are the kind of wild cards that he's gonna have to throw up, right? A non-traditional Arteta player to give something different
Hmm.
to the league and to the opponents.
Hmm.
yeah, this is gonna be interesting because that tactical switch of him not tracking back. And I mean, listen, you guys all laugh at Martinelli, but rightly so in his output going forward. But his defensive contributions, I'm sure, have not gone unnoticed.
No,
And
definitely not.
yeah, which to the point, I think has helped you guys secure some crucial points as well, or even break up some. You see what I'm saying? So, bringing a guy like that in and then, altering that tactic for the sake of attack. I don't even know if Arteta has it in him you see what I'm saying? To want to go that route, right? But it should be interesting to see.
That's also why he made the Brazil side, right?
Yeah, funny enough.
Like all banter aside, he doesn't deserve to be there over João Pedro, but he deserves to be there for the defensive work rate because again, like Ancelotti understands that even if you don't play if you don't play Martinelli on the left, but you play him on the right, you get that defensive work rate on both sides of the wing.
Hmm.
And when you're in training, you have someone that's going to constantly press you, constantly, and that's good. That's good for what you need. So yeah, but Vinny, yeah, I don't know, CJ.
It would be a shame. I gotta be honest. It would be a shame if he became available and we just didn't put our name in the hat and he went to like a Man United, for example. Like that for me would be a shame. To see him go to another Premier League club that isn't us. Like once upon a time, we wouldn't even be. Don't even put a bid in. But teams would laugh at us, right? Don't even put a bid in for Vinny when we're fifth place, sixth place, eighth place. But now, like, how could we let him come to this league and we're not the ones at the front of the table when we're the Premier League champions? That's the kind of point that I want to be raising. Like, that's the kind of level we should be
Mm.
thinking of. But, anyways, just quickly before we wrap up with the World Cup chats, Chelsea stuff, Chelsea rumors. Laurent, I don't know if you've been kind of keeping tabs with what's going on in the Chelsea camp at the moment. I mean, obviously the big thing that we know about is the Cucurella stuff, but what's going on over there? Anything you're hearing? Players linked in
I
and
will
out?
say, yeah, sorry. I mean, in terms of outs, I do believe Tasazi has been pretty much confirmed. I know Sterling. Was he leaving out? Yeah, but all like a lot of those players, right, that are pretty much on the fringes. And Alonso has made it a point, right, to want to get him out of the club. Now, in terms of who we're looking at, personally, the names or the sources, sorry, aren't as credible in my opinion. But I know that left back from Real Madrid, given was it Car Alvaro something, right?
Caracas?
Say that again.
No, not Caracas.
Yeah, Carreras.
Yeah, Carreras. Yeah,
Yep, yep.
Carreras.
Alvaro Carreras. I know there's even talks of getting Hall back.
Lewis
Um,
Hall?
yeah,
Yeah.
given the Kukurea situation. And in my opinion, yeah, I think we. I feel like I think Hato will be the starting left back, but I think you do need a backup um, in that position. For midfield, again, the names aren't even too credible from what I'm seeing here, bro. There's talks of even Kobe Mainu, things like that. Like,
No, he's not leaving.
Nah.
He's not leaving United.
yeah, yeah. But in terms of the attack, uh, Jackson is supposed to make his return. Nicholas Jackson. I think I'll be keeping an eye on it versus France in that first game. Obviously, throughout the rest of the tournament. But for me, I think listen, if Jackson is upward, and then you have Jao Pedro right there as well, that makes for an interesting combination. If we're being honest, and at the end of the day, listen, it's better than what the alternative was this season. So.
Can you just remind us, just for the fans, just for the ones that are top the Premier League table, who were the alternatives?
The boy the lap
And
the lap and Giyu, I think yeah, it's pretty much the other.
and then what about the wing? Who were the options?
But I think so honestly, bro, in terms of Garnacho's situation, I don't yo listen, funny enough, I wouldn't even be surprised if somehow he manages to stay in that club. You see what I'm
Oh,
saying?
he'll be there. Oh,
Uh,
he'll be there.
I don't. Yeah, I
Yo,
don't think he's going anywhere
yo,
either.
CJ, is this a good time to tell him?
what?
It's okay, bro. Never mind.
No,
I don't,
I don't even know what you're gonna say either. So I want to know now.
well, we said it on the last pod when we're gonna buy the jersey for you.
Oh, get Laurent the hashtag get Laurent a Chelsea kit.
We Garnacho on the back.
Oh,
Hmm, wow. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Anywho, in regards to even where the focus is at, it's more so the defenders and the midfielders. But yeah, and again, even to the Murdat's point, right? Given the fact that it is World Cup year, um, us as well, right? We are holding off on even looking to seek any players, right? Because you want to see how the competition develops before you even decide to target certain players for certain positions. So yeah, man, we'll have to wait on that.
Well, Chelsea signed that 40-year-old Cap Verde keeper.
Ha, that's
Probably makes more saves than Sanchez.
that is fun. You know, he had a good game. He had a good game, right? It was versus Spain.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, no, he definitely had a good game. But again, man, he's no Sanchez. Let's be real, right? Sanchez is able to have games like that across the board, right? With a few mishaps here and there, right? For ball distribution. But no, I think Sanchez will stay, in my opinion.
Would
Um,
you be okay with that?
I would listen. For me, I think, well, it depends on how that system looks like. Are we looking to play out from the back, right? Because at that point, okay, maybe there is room for concerns. It also depends on how Sanchez adapts that. So if we do utilize that kind of system, right? If he's able to psychologically, right, get his shit together to reduce his mistakes or errors per game, right? So, but other than that, for me, I think he's a great shot stopper. Um, and on his day, yeah, like he's top. So, yeah.
Hmm. I don't know if I agree.
With Sanchez,
Yeah, I think you've seen how Javi Alonso wants to play at Leverkusen. You have to be able to play with your feet, and maybe this season, if since you guys don't have any Champions League football, you can get away with having Sanchez, but you do need a distributing keeper once you get into the Champions League because all the teams are very good at pressing, and you need to have the confidence to be able to play the ball back to your keeper and know that it won't just get ruined, right? Know that the play won't be over. Um,
See, well, I mean, there's two types of distribution, right? There's one where obviously you're looking to find, a pinpoint pass, right? Or even like a midfielder, or pass like a short pass, for example, right?
mhm.
Or the second time is you can literally just boot it out and then right play a high ball and depend now on right, your players to get that 50-50, right? So um I think you're right. If listen, like I said, if that's how Xabi Alonso is looking to play, right, the playing out of the back, then yes, there is room for concern, right? And now, right, you could argue for finding another keeper on the market that has that ability, right?
But we
As
already
opposed
talked about it, right? Ruben or Royce from Sunderland. But
Mhm.
now the question for him is, do I want to leave Sunderland, who has European football? And again, like this is the difficulty that Chelsea are going to have. Like, there's no question that Chelsea are a bigger club than Sunderland, but not having European football, I think it's going to hurt you guys in the transfer window. I think it's going to hurt you guys a lot with the type of players that you guys are going to try to be want to recruit and be able to get. It is going to be difficult.
Yeah, no. Obviously, right. Listen, when you put an offer on the table, you want to make it as attractive as possible. For right, for those you're willing to sell on, right? So, it's true. It's true that on this day, Chelsea isn't the most attractive in that regard. Right, like a girl who lost her mascara and is unable to apply that shit for the event. But the brand, the power of the brand, right? There's the power of now, and then there's the power of branding.
Oh my days.
Chelsea is a big brand, and like I said, right? Sometimes even I think in business, right? You can promise, you can show for things that you're going to deliver on in the future, which you don't necessarily have now, right? So it all comes down to also the ability of those people in those positions, right? Who are even scouting or trying to target those players to be able to pitch, right, what that project is. And pretty sure, right? If they can convince him on that, right? And again, listen, man, we won the Club World Cup, which I think is has its part to play in that sales pitch, right? That we do look to win trophies, right? Even when we are at our low. So just imagine how it's going to be when we resurface to those glory days, right? So
And
uh,
if I was a prospective player, well, the first thing I would ask is you guys spent $2 billion and you guys are nowhere ahead of the top teams in the Premier League and the top teams in the world.
which is fair, which is
Like all banter aside, I'm not just saying that just to banter you, I'm being genuine. If I was an agent
mhm,
of X player that you guys would want to get,
mhm.
and you said, oh, well, even in our worst era, we won the FIFA Club World Cup and we're gonna have the badge, blah 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 blah. We've won trophies. We're the only London side to win the Champions League. Blah blah blah. Blah. I My question would be, okay, you guys spent $2 billion and you're nowhere near close to winning one of those major trophies again.
Right, right. And listen, I'm actually glad that you brought up that point. Because listen, you already know I'm interested in we're interested in Vinicius Jr. at Chelsea FC, and as Vinny's representative, I just want to show you how we change our process and our decision making when it comes to scouting talent. We've improved on these three above points here, right? The next 2 to 3 years are this is the plan that we have, right? This is how we're looking to allocate these funds. And on top of that, right, the manager and the system he's willing to implement, right? We do think that we can get back to at least a top four finish, right? In the next 2 years, Champions Leagues in X year. And at that point, right, we have all the cards assembled, and you can only imagine what it begins to look like for Chelsea FC, right? So uh, again, right? So for going aside from this small role play here, you understand that we're going to have our rebuttals as to how we're going to try to sell these agents and these players on the Chelsea project, right? So, and like I mentioned again to Bob, right, that there's no way that I can conceive that after this year, right, and the shamble of the season was that the owners are going to be reluctant to change in their behaviors, right, or in their processes or how they're going about signing these players. Because I think to everyone at Chelsea, this was like a nail in the coffin, almost like like you put your hand on the stove for a bit too long and you get burnt, right? You can't keep going this way whilst you're going to get the same result, right? And who is it on this podcast that loves to say this, right? That insanity is doing the same thing over and over, right? So
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
yeah, right,
Well,
right.
Chelsea have already started, right? Chelsea are trying to push out Todd Bowley,
Mm, yeah, but
right? So,
I don't think we're gonna be able to accomplish that, right? Getting
well, who knows? Who knows the power of the protests for the fans? Like, yeah, you never know.
mm.
I think the confidence that you have about Chelsea and the Champions League and the Premier League, I think. Do I think that Chelsea can finish top four or at least in a Champions League spot next year? Yeah, I'd with only playing once a week, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, similar to what Man United has done this year.
But I think you guys are gonna fall 2 years behind because you have to be a seller this year. As much as you don't want to talk about it, the 75 breaches in financial fair play that you guys were charged with, like you guys don't have that match day revenue now. So if you want to go for someone like a Vinicius Jr. or you want to get someone that I don't even know well you guys are gonna need a left back. Like how are you gonna be able to manage that now?
So I mean, I think again, like obviously it's like you're saying, right? We have to be sellers, so it's the key is to sell well, obviously. To then look to right, take that capital and invest wisely, right? So even in terms of the investment strategy, I think that's something that the board itself is going to look at, right? Well, maybe the players you go for are of a certain profile. You see what I'm saying? Where you're able to maybe you have to sacrifice on a bit of experience, right? You buy things on a bargain, but you see a certain potential there, right? But obviously you're counting for all those parameters, right? And again, we're not looking to get young players, right? In those positions like we have. Um, but it might not be the right the best players. But I think that's where again, right? The recruiting department comes in because listen, we've seen it times and time again, right? Players on teams that do not perform well for X reasons, and they go on a different team, and suddenly you've unlocked potentials, right? Those players look completely different. And a lot of times, players like that kind of go under the radar. You see what I'm saying? So I do think it comes down to also having those guys in those recruiting departments that just have an eye for that kind of talent, right? And then at that point, right, it's other clubs are worried about getting players that are more so established, right? Like household names and whatnot, and they kind of just disregard this talent. So you put a bid in, and no one's really too concerned, right? So I do think a certain strategy to that nature, right, will have to be employed given limited resources on that end. But as well, I also do know we do have some talent within Chelsea as well. Some younger talent. I
Well,
think my
you
most
guys bought $2 billion worth of young talent. Like,
no, but
there's no question that
sir,
you guys have
yeah,
talented players, and even in the academy, you guys have talented players coming
right,
through,
right.
right? But
Yeah,
the
no, so I
question is going to be, are those players going to want to stick around if Chelsea, for whatever reason, next year, let's just say they don't get a Champions League spot and you guys get a Europa spot? Are those players going to want to wait another season, another year that they get older, another year for a potential life-threatening injury or career-ending injury for it to happen, right? Like these are the things that goes through players' minds.
right. No, that's true. That is true. Um, but yeah, man, listen, like I said, I think Chelsea, where we're at, there is a certain history there that you can sell on for sure. And yeah, man, like the names too around the club, right? Like I'm pretty sure the John Terrys, right? Those guys. If you say that you're Chelsea through and through, right? Yeah, you have your connections, right? Make things happen. See what I'm saying? Like make things happen, right? To yeah, you're not playing anymore, but you can still help the club get back to its former glory, right? So honestly, man, that's why sometimes people say I'm a bit too relaxed. CJ wasn't liking how relaxed I was when I was getting bantered on Saturday from left and right. But
Because I genuinely don't think you know what's coming next season.
no.
I do bel yeah, like you guys already were out of everything and you guys
Mm,
fought to get back to top four. But that season that you guys were out of it, you guys were in conference league.
hmm
Like I genuinely don't think you understand how miserable it's going to be for Chelsea and Chelsea players this season.
Again, right? Listen, it's one of those things where yes, right, it's going to be miserable, but at the end of the day, right, those players are going to have to show a certain level of professionalism. Um, it's a rocky road, right? The biggest organizations go through those periods where it is truly rocky, right? So there's no exception there, right? And it just comes down to how we want to look to rise above it. Um, for me, the biggest part, and I think for most Chelsea fan, is that we build a certain identity in terms of the style of play, right? If we're counting on this manager, right, and if he's the guy that can manage the club for the next 3 years, 4, 5, given good performance, it is very key that he establishes a certain core that he can then, right? Obviously, okay, you look to get back into European competition, but that core that he establishes from this year, he can then take into next year, sorry, the year after that to be able to compete. Um, because to me, it just doesn't make sense, right? Where, um, again, you bring in a manager and even let's say you do get back to whatever, right, to European, but again, the style of play, those things aren't there that you see, okay, this is the new Chelsea, right? So that's to me is what I'm looking for, like a certain identity on that pitch, right? And a level of desire as well. So
Hmm. Well, it's gonna be an
It's funny.
interesting trend. Oh,
Uh,
sorry.
no, all I was gonna say was I was smirking a little bit earlier because way back now, but when you mentioned Sunderland, I just couldn't help to remember on Saturday. And shout out a man like Bob again. Yo, Bob keeps getting bare shout outs, bro. At this point, we gotta bring him on the podcast. But when you mentioned Sunderland, we're dead. It brought me back to flashbacks on Saturday. And one of the things that Bob kept saying to Laurent was that him and Chelsea and Sunderland are cousins because they only have 6 league titles each. So sorry.
Oh God.
Anyways, sorry. You just had to be there to understand. But it's just yeah. Sunderland flashback, 6 league titles for Chelsea, 6 for Sunderland. You know what I mean? 6-7. Come see, come saw. Anyways, yeah.
6-7, not 14.
And that was the argument. Yo, Bob on the day was out and this is why again, Laurent, he thinks that you're bad, bro. I guess maybe we are all that bad, bro. Man like Bob had the audacity to turn up to the event on the day. He had the gold um he had the title winning what is it? Fucking the medal around his neck. You know those ones that because he was
Yeah.
in the UK as well, Bob. So he you know how they were selling like the actual medals, the
Yep.
gold medals, with the red ribbon, whatever. He picked one of those up, brought it back to Toronto, and man's gonna be rocking that all summer long, bro. The man showed up on Saturday with it around his neck. One of these like in Laurent's face. Like, you see this? You see this gold medal here? Like, yeah. It was a time, man. It was hilarious. So I was there with Laurent, and I was just kind of saying, damn, yeah, I guess it's not just Murdat, is it? Like, we're all fucking that bad. Fuck. Like, the
I think
man,
I'm bad. I think I just say it how it is.
listen, the man was there was a funny ass point on Saturday where Laurent was convinced that Bob was not going to be delusional enough to answer the question in the way he did.
Uh-oh.
However, the way Bob answered this question needed Laurent to order another shot of apple juice because he doesn't drink people. We don't endorse drinking. What happened in this moment, right? We
What's the
said, or
question?
Laurent said to Bob, João Pedro or Gyökeres. Or no, no, no. How was it phrased? I think he said, I think we no, I think we might have brought up you. I don't know how this came about, okay? But the bottom line is somebody said so and so. Laurent was like, me and Laurent said to Bob, yeah, so and so, the thought process out there from a lot of these Arsenal fans is that Gyökeres is better than João Pedro. And then Bob goes, yeah, he is. And then that's when Laurent was like, all right, like waitress, send me another round. I need drinks. I need so because the reaction after that was like, all right, yeah,
I
this is
mean,
a
it is the
competency.
truth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That moment was hilarious. I didn't even expect him to answer that. I thought he genuinely was gonna say João Pedro, but the fact that the man agreed, as if like, that's not even a wild take. I was like, damn, this really us Arsenal fans, we're different still. We're different.
Built different.
Yeah.
Um, which brings us very nicely to the World Cup. Just briefly before we sign off, given the fact that the World Cup is on, we're gonna try to do a segment just to kind of watch some of the Arsenal and Chelsea players for the next few weeks. Currently, right now, we are recording this on a Monday. Iran is facing New Zealand. There were a couple
Two
big
two.
up. Yeah, 2-2. Yeah, I try not to react when we gave up a goal and then when we scored. Um, there was a lot of upsets the past few days. Um, just briefly, the ones that I saw, and you guys tell me if you thought any differently. Switzerland being upset by Qatar, giving up a late goal, as well as Morocco are. I think Brazil were upset. I think Brazil should have won that game. Not that they deserved it on the field, but I think on paper Brazil were obviously going into that game favorites. Australia beating Turkey, to me, that's massive. Um, Japan and Netherlands. I don't think the Dutch respected the Japanese at all. The Japanese are notorious for playing unreal. Oh, there goes our chance. Um, Ivory Coast beating Ecuador. Shout out to Moise Caicedo.
Because you're
Doing
saying
Caicedo.
that one was an upset?
Personally, yeah, with the way that Ecuador played in
Qualifying.
yeah,
Yeah, I think they conceded 5 goals. And
yeah.
they've been unbeaten for the last 19 games, apparently.
And you're talking about they face the likes of Brazil, Argentina, right? So yeah, for me, yeah, I think it was an upset. And coming to today, like Cabo Verde and Spain,
The
you
biggest
know what I
upset.
mean?
Yeah, that one is hilarious, bro.
That's a massive upset. And then Saudi Arabia and Uruguay.
Yo, listen, I'll tell you right now, man, out of those teams that are supposed to make it through to the next round on paper, yeah, you better get your shit together.
Bro, I
Because
had Spain winning it all. I have Spain winning it all.
yeah, I don't know about that, man. I think France is likelier than Spain right
Well,
now.
I think France is gonna implode.
Really?
I think the locker room is not good, if I'm being honest with you.
Jeez. Fuck. It's like yeah, every time we talk about the locker room, there's always fucking Exhibit A, bro. Always in the equation. That one player. But
Well, it's true. It's true. Yes, yes. France are the one of the most talented teams in this tournament, but it's not talent. Like talent gets you on the field. but it's your effort. It's how you play for the man standing next to the right, to the left,
Well, I mean, bro,
behind you.
Dembele did ask Mbappe to, put in that extra effort, apparently. You guys heard about that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, he asked him, like, come on, man, like, you know,
Yeah,
he
but
needs.
Mbappe wears the armband. Like, really?
Mm.
You
But
know what I mean?
listen, at the end of the day, bro, I think we also have to factor in their manager, Didier Deschamps, which I think played a big part, even in like it was the last one, right, where they were in the finals versus Argentina.
Hmm.
Yep.
Let's be real, that could have went either way.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And yeah, for them to make it that far, right? That manager, if anything, I do feel he could have the grips on those players, right? To be able to settle them down. Uh, but yeah, no. Spain, that one was hmm. I saw the highlights and boy, I
Well,
don't
what highlights?
Wait, sorry, can I just interject for 1 second? Breaking: Chelsea are exploring possibly of hijacking Arsenal's $40 million deal for Christos Mazzoli. Sources say the club remain committed to their long-term strategy of signing Arsenal's transfer targets before Arsenal's do. Hijacked Caicedo, hijacked Mudryk, hijacked Sanchez, hijacked João Pedro, hijacked Delap, hijacked Gittins. I mean, it, can Chelsea ever be original?
All right, well, listen, back to the World Cup. Oh, gosh, like it's everything Chelsea, bro. And that that's the one thing I've noticed about you Arsenal fans. It's always Chelsea this, Chelsea that, bro. Like at some point I'm almost like, bro, like yo, just relax. Like why are you
Here,
guys always
let me tell you something that's not Chelsea related.
hmm
With Cucurella going to Madrid, apparently PK and a bunch of the players that came through La Masia are extremely upset because he came through the Barcelona academy, and now he's gonna wear the Madrid badge. And for those of you that don't understand why there's so much beef between Madrid and Barcelona, it's based off of politics. So it's an unwritten rule. You do not play for both sides.
Wait, you're telling me no player has ever
No,
gone with
players have,
Mhm.
but it's an unwritten rule that you should not. And the players that have, they've been scolded.
Wait, who's the most notorious player that played for both clubs?
Give me 1 second, I will find.
Probably R9,
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Yeah. And it was Real Madrid after Barca
Yeah,
in this case?
yeah.
Luis Figo, Luis Enrique, Samuel Eto'o, Ronaldo. Those are the big ones. Yeah, Ronaldo played Barcelona 96, 97, and then joined the Galacticos 2002 to 2007.
Seeing the rivalry is real, eh? I did.
Massive, massive.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, I hear that in some parts of England, you can't even walk out with your jersey. You gotta tuck that shit in, as they say. I was getting we're getting a whole history lesson on Saturday from should I call him Unc? I guess that'd be the right term, but yeah, Arsenal fan. Um, yeah, CJ's laughing. For those of you who didn't get to experience it, it kind of felt like I was hanging around Thierry Henry for the whole day on Saturday. Chelsea, I mean, sorry, CJ and his uh his jersey. I'm pretty sure you worn it, right, on the pod. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, it's been getting a lot of love, man, from people outside. They're stopping by. Hey, nice jersey, bro. Nice, And yeah, no, it was good to see. It was good to see. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was the '06 Burgundy home kit, that, by the way.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's an OG kit.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, man, seeing that kind of love, it was it's very nice, right? I usually get
Mm.
that when I wear my Drogba jersey, but I try to keep it indoors, right? Else it gets too much. So
Yeah.
yeah, Chris Wood though doesn't get that kind of love, by the way.
Chris Wood is unreal, better than Didier.
Right, right, right. Yeah, no. Other upsets though. Honestly, I thought the Sweden and Tunisia game, that one was bro, that the head coach, sorry, their manager got fired. Got let go.
Wait, hold on, hold
That-
on. Who who is the manager of Sweden?
yeah, Graham Potter. That and again, right? I listen, rightfully so. When you look at what happened from that game, right? Gyökeres scoring, Isak scoring,
Wait,
and
wait, wait, wait. Who scored?
Gyökeres, right? And yeah, all orchestrated by Graham Potter. Yeah, you got to sack your manager after that, bro, because that is absolutely unacceptable. Um, yeah, yeah, but yeah, that
So
mm,
out of Chelsea, sorry, Laurent, out of Chelsea, we've seen Moise Caicedo play. We've seen, well, Cucurella was part of Chelsea. He's no longer. Fernandez, Malo Gusto, Joel Hato, Nicholas Jackson, Reece James, Pedro Neto. Um, out of the players that I've named, who are you most looking forward to watching, and who do you hope that develops the best out of this World Cup?
well, that's a good question.
So again, Moise Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Malo Gusto, Joel Hato, Nicholas Jackson, Reece James, Pedro Neto.
Okay, so in terms of development, I will say I hope Neto um improves a lot. Just don't improve on that first game you have. But
Hmm.
every game after that, you can, yeah, do whatever the fuck you want. Um, Malo Gusto as well, who will be facing off against Nicholas Jackson in that first game. So both of
Hmm.
those guys, yeah, you're looking for.
See, is Gusto even gonna play? Like, is he gonna
I don't
start?
think he's gonna play. He won't. He definitely won't start.
Yeah, because they got Kunde there.
Ah, yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What does Kunde mean again?
Yeah, as I said his name, I remember that. I remember there was something about that, wasn't there?
Probably any Iranians listening to this podcast, you know exactly what Kunde means,
Oh, it
and
was it was one of
Oh, I
those.
should have said that to the waitress. I just took that in. The
listen,
from
Oh yeah, yeah.
Gabby's, the best wings, by the way. Yeah, yeah, great. Yeah, but yeah, no,
good
sorry,
call.
Murda, you're gonna say something.
No, no, no. I just wanted to get your takes. So Pedro Neto, Malagusto,
And
anyone
then
else?
Caicedo as well. I want to. What I'd love to see from him is because even I did watch the game versus Ivory Coast, which is a good game. And after that, I'm actually gonna ask you guys your take on your player in that game. But I'd like to see that robust defensive aggressiveness, but toned down, right? Where you're not getting yellow cards, right? So that's what I want to see from a certain level of discipline. And yeah, that he can bring in to the season next year. But yeah, but, yo guys, if you watch that game,
Mm-hmm.
Piero Capier, how do you explain that?
CJ?
You want to go first?
No, I like your analysis better than mine.
Um, well, what do you mean? Like, what do you want me to explain? Like, what is there to explain?
I think there's a lot. And after you guys give your pick, I want to get your take on something. But
Okay.
I think, like as an Arsenal fan, right? Listen, I think players are you're allowed to have an off day. But for me, that was a lot. That was a lot. And I saw the guy's stats. What was his Monday
Hmm.
is the opposing player's name, right? I think five successful dribbles out of six, something like that, right? So pretty much what is that, like over 80%? Um, and bro, like he did not look comfortable at all, at all. And to me it was surprising, right? Because again, um, he's supposed to be a top player for you guys, right, in that position. But he could not stop him. Like,
Yeah. I don't know what to, literally, I don't know how much to say. It was one of those ones where, um, yeah,
Been a
I
rough
think,
game.
yeah. And again, I think it said more about the attacking player in question, Diomande, right? Um,
Hmm.
how good of a game he had and what a player he is, right? I mean,
Mhm.
again, from an Arsenal perspective, you're asking us if you're trying to draw us out as Arsenal fans. I don't really have much to say about it. I've seen, right? We've seen Di Maria make Carlos Puyol, one of the best defenders of the last 20 years, do the splits. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
You
But
know what I mean? Like we've seen top
was that when he
defenders.
was sorry, was that when he was old? I swear that was when Puyol was reaching a later stage in his career, right? Whereas in this case, Nkapie is relatively like
No, we're talking about peak El Clasico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid, Carlos Puyol, right? And a
in
captain
his
of,
prime, or you saying in his prime? Puyol in his prime?
yeah, if he's playing in that game, right? You're playing in an El Clasico. You're
Bro,
leading the team
fucking
that
what?
season.
Who's the guy on Juventus, the Italian guy, the
Bonucci?
yeah, is that him?
Chiellini?
Yeah, yeah,
No,
Chiellini,
Chiellini.
Chiellini, yeah, yeah,
Chiellini.
yeah, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, Chiellini, yeah, he was playing, but at some point you realize the guy's like nearing like 40 years old. Like, what you see what I'm saying? Like, you can't. You see, like, yeah,
Okay, well, I mean, I can give you more examples. We've seen Van Dijk, the best center back apparently in the last 5, 10 years. We've seen him get skinned multiple times in the last 2 seasons. He's been, you know what I mean? Like, so these things happen. That's why the same way you were getting hyped about Esteval's performance against Timber the other time. I understand, obviously, as Chelsea fans, you didn't have much to hype about last season, but you were overdoing that hype as well. Like, yeah, Esteval had the better of Timber in that game, but
but it wasn't even. Okay, I see what you're saying,
you know
but
what I mean? Like the best of defenders, they can have poor games and they can come up against good opponents where you're going to get unstuck at times. I think that's literally all it is. Like, this doesn't even need much airtime, in my opinion.
I do understand what you're saying, but there is a difference where even in the case of Nuno Mendes, Lamine Yamal, like those battles,
Mhm.
you tend to see defenders that are able to kind of recalibrate themselves as the game progresses, if you see what I'm saying. But in this case, it was like just the first. I don't know. Is Nkapie is he supposed to be? Does he have the pace? Like I assume he in that
Yeah,
position
yeah,
he
he's
should.
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
But so that's what I'm saying. Like it was just it almost felt like I was watching an elite sprinter versus a
I know
non-sprinter.
what you're saying. Like, you expect at some point Hincapié was gonna adjust, but he kept getting beat almost every time Diomande ran at him one on one. Like
Right,
almost
right,
every time. I get what
right.
you're trying to say, and I'm putting it more down to, yeah, like a bad game. Obviously, him and maybe even the manager, the coaching staff didn't do their homework enough on this Diomande guy. But I bet you one thing: the next time you come up against that opponent, right, you're not sleeping on him again. So I'd be curious again to see, right, going forward, how
How
Hincapié,
he responds.
responds for the rest of the tournament. If he has a whole shit tournament, then I'm concerned, and there's questions to be had. But if he bounces back, then it's just one of those ones you put it down to more so a bad game, or maybe just not
Fatigue.
preparing well enough for your opponent.
Okay, that's fair. And sorry, my actually, I assume that you want to touch up on it,
No,
or okay.
no.
So my lead question to that, to kind of go off of the point you made, right, about facing a good opponent. Do you think there is a case in, and you can argue in most leagues nowadays, where fullbacks look better than they are simply because the wingers just aren't as great nowadays? You see what I'm saying? Where if the guy that's you're going up against, right, is just not a threat, then you look good. I mean you look world class if you're not facing that right opposition, right? And we all agree that it's sparse in terms of quality wingers.
So what's the question? Sorry.
So do left backs, right backs, right? Do they look better in nowadays, or even in the respective leagues? Um, and I would say more so in the Premier League because I don't think we have top wingers in our league at the moment. Uh,
Mm-mm. Well, now that Salah's gone, no.
yeah. So are those guys looking better than they actually are? Do you see what I'm saying?
I think it's tough to judge like that because the game has changed so much. But from the line of question that you're asking, yeah, you could say that. But also, I think the system has to do something with it as well. I think the coaches are getting smarter with the type of systems that they're deploying to nullify wingers.
Hmm.
So, not to have a cop-out answer, I think it's a yes, but I would also say no at the same time because I think the systems are designed a lot better to avoid one-on-ones.
Hmm. Hmm. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a good actually. That's a good point.
I'm not trying to have a cop-out answer, but like I think that's a difference. It's a
Hmm.
big difference. Just quickly wrapping it up. I know Arsenal have a bunch of players. It's too many to name. Not trying to sound conceited or anything, but England are playing very soon. I think there's been a lot of issues with the England base camp, getting their kits and their boots and stuff stolen, being in an earthquake in Florida for the first time since 1892 or something like crazy like that. Um, Having tornado warning. So the England squad has been going through it. Spain, obviously, which I don't understand how Unai Simon continues to play over David Raya. And Kai Havertz, he won he won player of the game, right? Yeah, he won player of
I
the
think
game.
so.
Um, Trossard, Salib. There's just so many to name, and I think the one thing that I just want from now to the end of the tournament is zero injuries. Zero injuries. To make it a good spectacle next season, I hope that Chelsea have zero injuries as well because it would be that much sweeter to beat them when they're at full health rather than giving Laurent more excuses for his team.
And
I had to toss that in there. I'm sorry.
listen, man, I just for Chelsea fans, I think we're holding off on our banter as to how our head-to-heads are going to look like next season because we're waiting to see what our squad is going to look like. And depending on that, I'll let you know. I'll let you know then and there if that record that you guys have versus us is ending.
I think it's only fitting. CJ gave us the remix for the intro, and I think CJ should give us the remix for the outro.
Yeah, well, all summer long, folks, we're here. Stay locked in because yes, it's off season for as far as club football is concerned, but international football is well and truly alive. We got a lot of Arsenal representation at the World Cup, which is a sign of the times too. Once upon a time, when we were in the mud and we were a banter club, we didn't have any of our big players playing for their nations, right? But the fact that nowadays we've got a lot of our big players playing for big international countries, your Brazils, your Frances, your Spains, Englands, and potentially going to the latter stages of tournaments, it's refreshing, right? You got some big players, important players. Um, how they come back from the World Cup and recover from that now, right? Having played 63 games this past season, a lot of them with minimal rest. That's another conversation for another podcast. What we're gonna do and how we're gonna deal with that, because that's a concerning thing from my perspective, right? Your likes of Salibas, your Rices, your Sakas, who are going in minimal rest. But listen, problem for another day. But for the here and now, thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe and stay locked in for the next one because the three of us will continue to be here representing our clubs and our countries in a lot of cases. In a World Cup stance, Iran played tonight, got the 2-2 draw. So, Murdad, you guys go again another day.
Yeah.
DR Congo plays Portugal. That's a massive one. When is that one, Laurent? Wednesday?
Yeah, it's on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So going to be locked into that one. And yeah, many more games to come, man. England play on the Wednesday as well. So let's see how many of the Arsenal
Croatia,
boys.
4 o'clock. You got
Yeah,
France, Senegal tomorrow at 3, Argentina, Algeria at 9,
What are your predictions for that Senegal France?
2-2.
yeah, I can see a draw.
Really?
I can see a draw.
I got 2-2, 3-1, Iraq, Norway, uh, Norway winning, and I got 3-0. Sorry, 3-1, Argentina, Algeria.
Mm.
But yeah, folks, on that note, like I said, thanks again for tuning in. Stay locked in, and we'll be back. You've been listening to the home of the Premier League champions. Until next time, adios.
Adios.